Tell me a little bit about your take after having gone through this very interesting meeting, quite different than any other SHAPE meeting that I've been involved in the sense that de-escalation was discussed, and that's never really been a focus in the past, and the concept of a SHAPE trial also was discussed. So if you could just...
As you know, we were here 10 years ago, not knowing what we were going to do, only with the goal of making a difference to advance the status quo, and came with SHAPE guidelines published in 2006, and we came back here in 2009 with the intention of upgrading the SHAPE guidelines. And over the past 10 years, we have met quite a few challenges in advancing our cause for the ultimate mission of eradication of heart attack, eradicating heart attack, which is unique to our society. This was a fantastic meeting in many ways, and I'm super pleased that we've had so much brainstorming here about what are the different aspects of SHAPE guidelines and a trial or multiple trials. As you notice that we have now 4 or 5 trials put on the table by our team that will definitely make a big difference in the way SHAPE guidelines will be adopted. Cost effectiveness was a key discussion, as you noted. The escalation or lowering the focus of therapy from those who don't need it really and focus it on those who need it the most. So those are things that will come out after this meeting.
So that was a lot. No. I mean, there was a lot of things that came out of this discussion. So what is the one, if you had to boil it down to one key idea or one key thought that moves us forward, what is that? How do you bring it all together?
I think what we've discovered or found out in this meeting, that there are quite a few things started already. Waves begin with the SHAPE guidelines. The European study that we looked at, some of the US-based studies, exciting, as you know, we saw Google Baseline is a study that partially is now looking into SHAPE and collaboration. We were very pleased with their vision towards this. So I think if we just boil down to one conclusion from the SHAPE trial meeting is that we have identified low-hanging fruits to go after, and with regard to the trial, and particularly with the upcoming very expensive drugs like PCSK9 inhibitor that makes a big impact, potential impact in terms of cost. We identified that as an area of improvement.
Is it conceivable that there's a plaque gene? There was some discussion about the genetic code and the genome, and are those things that, if you were to fast forward 30 years, maybe it's beyond our lifetime, but are we going to at some point identify that we can really get a feel for what causes some people to be susceptible or vulnerable and some people not?
Yeah, I think we already know a lot about genes. It's not new. We know a lot about genes that they have, they create some level of susceptibility. But unfortunately, from the genes, which is sort of upstream, all the way to the event, which is very downstream, there are so many steps that are affected by other factors, environmental mostly. And so knowing about genes is good, but it's not really helping us in identifying who's going to have an event. What came up from our meeting was the prognostic value of, or response to therapy value of knowing about genes. That's what Jessica presented. So yes, there will be some more development, but I don't think that there would be a magic gene or genes that would say, okay, you've got this, you're going to have a heart attack. And so it's a very complex interaction with the environment and the response to therapy and other interventions that will come to the bottom line. And that's why my personal interest is we know genomic, we know proteomic, now we should know more about functionomic which will define the end of the line. And that's what matters the most.
Very good. One more question. He's running out of battery. We're running out of daylight. What is the compelling message that you have based on what you heard and contributed to today for those who are out there? Maybe the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation stumbles across this video, or maybe just one of your neighbors is considering whether to give $5 or $10. What do you have to say to either of those two types of people?
Well, I think anybody who digs a little bit into our story sees that we are dealing with the most dangerous killer of our lifetime, and that is an unpredicted heart attack. And this group zoomed on what could identify those predictors of unpredicted heart attack and alert people and prevent them from having a sudden heart attack, which is affecting so many families. So if somebody wants to put their name to make a long-lasting impact on humanity, contribute to eradication of heart attack. We're talking about heart attacks, not heart disease, not everything, heart attacks, and make themselves known for centuries. This is the place. The same way polio was eradicated, same way smallpox and all other infectious diseases were eradicated. We think, this group thinks, that heart attack can be eradicated, and it starts here.